My name is William. I am in Tuan for more than 4 years now. I am in charge of Africa, the whole continent Africa, north to south, including Egypt. But in Tuan, we have many people, actually more than 400 people, and we've got salespeople dedicated to Middle East, for those of you who are from this region. Before I go deeply into the Tuan product and solutions, I think it's kind of good to remind everyone about what is Tuan, for those of you who don't know Tuan. So we are a Czech company. We are based right here in the middle of Europe. Our revenue last year was 65 million euro, which is, if you are aware about the intercom business, it's actually a pretty good market share of the intercom business. We have 395 people, so nearly 400 people. And this is something that you may or may not know, but we are part of Axis since 2016. So Axis, they are based in Sweden, in the north of Europe. Axis is much, much bigger, more than 1 billion euro revenue, more than 4,000 people, and also part of Canon. So between Canon, Axis, and Tuan, it's a big family. And if you know about Canon, you might know as well that the companies like Milestone are also part of the group. As for Ingram Micro and NIT, the reason why we are organizing this with Ingram Micro and NIT is because Ingram is our distributor in Middle East and Africa. Ingram is a group of companies. So inside Ingram, you have different companies, including Aptech and NIT. This allows Ingram to be present all around the Middle East, either by physical presence or just by logistic presence, meaning that any project that you may have in one of these countries can be easily covered by Ingram Middle East. So I know, for example, that I work a lot with the people from Egypt and Morocco, but I do work as well with the Dubai office when it comes to exporting goods to Nigeria, Kenya, or South Africa, for example. So for you, if you have any kind of project in those regions, don't hesitate to reach out directly to Ingram, and they will let you know which particular account manager or product manager will be able to help you. So Tuan sales, as you can see, has been growing a lot since 2016. We have had more than 20%, even 25% of growth every year, to the exception of 2020, which you can see was not a great year. It was COVID year. However, we still managed to keep the revenue as a certain level. So for us, it was still a successful year. If you look at other companies, it was not so successful. But our target is to become the worldwide leader in IP intercom in the world. Okay, so actually, we're not even talking about IP intercom anymore. We're talking as well about the whole intercom market. If it's analog or if it's digital or if it's IP, Tuan will want to be the leader of this market. And our target is actually 2025. So it's going to come very short, but the number shows that we are actually in a good way for this. So yeah, it's something we're planning to do. And if you guys want to benefit from this, then you can easily join this adventure with us and just grow your business as well in the same way. So what kind of solutions are we going to talk about today when we're talking about Tuan? Something I wanted to say is that we are talking about 21st projects, 21st century project, and added value solution. Okay, so that's what we're talking about in Tuan. We're not talking about old school solutions. We're not talking about doing the same stuff as what has been done for the last 20 years. No, we want really to provide added value solutions. And where are we stronger? First of all, we are stronger when it comes to new construction and high-end projects. This makes sense, but obviously when you have a new construction and high-end projects, Tuan is much stronger because we have very classic design and very strong product. When you have a high-end and a new construction, it's likely that they will put IP technology. This could be a kind of it's kind of a trend really into the office or commercial project. But now we are seeing it a lot as well in the residential projects. So when people are talking about IP, this is where 2N is stronger. And as well, when they're talking about integration, this is also one of the biggest strengths of 2N solution is the integration. I didn't mention it, but 2N is on the market for more than 30 years, with a lot of experience into telecommunication business. And then we quickly moved into the intercom and access control business. So over 30 years, we've developed our OS, our solutions, our software to be compatible with other solutions. Like some of this, you can see it here. So that means that we have really a lot of experience in this. We're not just doing that for the last couple of years. It's really like a 10, 20 years of experience. So those are the product groups that we have in 2N. Some of them you know, some of them maybe not as much. I wanted first to emphasize on these 3 points at the top of this. If you have to remember one thing about 2N, that should be it. First of all, 2N is only doing purely API-based solution. So we are using only 99%, even more, is IP protocol. We are only using PoE in most of the case. So it's very, very easy to use our product on an IP network. If IP network is existing, it's a piece of cake. We are also using only standalone product. So what you can see here are some of those products are fully standalone, okay? We don't require any kind of server behind, any PBX, I don't know, any kind of controller, door controller, or I don't know, any kind of switch, or obviously switch, yeah, but like a specific intercom switch. Our products are standalone, which makes it easy for small projects, even big projects, to use our solutions and to build the solutions customized. And even in the future, it's easy to actually grow the solution, make the solution evolve. And we're also using open standard for integration. There's no proprietary protocol in 2N. Nothing is proprietary, only open protocol like ONVIF, like SIG protocol, vegan protocol, for example, HTTP. Those are really some of the protocols we are using. So the products, I think the first line is really what's interesting for us. And I want really to emphasize actually on the 3 first product, which is IP access control, IP intercom, and IP answering unit. So I will go deeply in those products, but just to brief you about the rest, we do have as well cloud solutions. 2N Cloud Solution has been on the market since 2016. And our cloud solution is actually our own cloud. We are hosting it on Amazon Cloud, Amazon Web Services. So it's an extremely robust solution. And this solution allows us to have different services. So we're talking about, for example, remote configuration, where you can remotely access every devices on the internet. Or we are talking about, for example, mobile video, which is a service which allows you to route the call from the intercom through the cloud to a mobile phone or to any kind of SIP device throughout the globe. Okay, there is no geographic limitation. And we have as well other services dedicated, for example, for lift product, for a remote lift control, for example. In terms of IP audio, our range right now is more of a complement from what we have into the intercom. We're talking mostly about paging audio. So if you have an intercom system, for example, for a factory, and you want to be able to page through the whole factory, you can use one of our speakers to page and broadcast messages on the factory. Lift systems is a very dedicated business unit, very specific business unit. It's only lift communication devices with secure protocol. Okay, so it's a certified secured system with communication over GSM, over IP, or over 4G, for example. So those are products are, for example, used in Kone Lift, Schindler Lift, and big brands like this. And telecommunication is our, let's say, legacy system. This is how we started in 2N. We started doing telecommunication gateways and PBX. So it's the roots of our like the history of our business. We're still manufacturing them, but right now it's really a specific business for specific customers. So yeah, so let's jump in and let's speak about what's really going to be interesting in Middle East and Africa, and it's the access control and the intercom. So when we're talking about access control, this is what we've got right now in the portfolio. Again, we're only IP. We support mobile credential, and it's extremely easy to use by non-professional. And the reason for that is because the OS that you have inside every single 2N device has been worked on for the last 20 years, even more. So we have started 20 years ago, and we have made the OS evolve all the time. So it's extremely simple OS, very user friendly, very simple, and a lot of documentation on our website. So this is the range we have right now. I'm gonna try to find if I have some kind of marker or something like this. Yeah, laser pointer. So the top line is our to access unit 2.0. 2.0 because we actually had the 1.0 originally, which we made evolve to kind of compact the design and be able to combine technology. For example, here we have combined Bluetooth and RFID, or touch keypad and RFID, or even we have here our access unit fingerprint reader, or Bluetooth only. This is really the most designed product we have in terms of access control with like a metallic casing. It's also expansive, so you can actually expand the capacity of the device and put multiple credentials. You can as well put vegan control on this device. So it's really the top of the top. With this one, it's extremely modular and extremely designed product. But also it's also not really needed all the time, all of those functionalities. So this is why we've also developed what we call the Access Unit M. M stands for million, because you can actually install it on a million of a door. It's extremely slim, a little bit more classic look. If you look at competitor product, it's kind of into this style. However, because it's 2N, we cannot do the same as others. So we also developed a product which is with the front glass. So it's not plastic, it's a front glass, touch glass, with combination of technology as well. It's an amazing device for example, office use. Yeah, it's a very good device for that. You can see support of mobile credential, and this comes with our mobile key application. I want to really talk about this one because you're gonna think about Bluetooth and our competitor, for example, have Bluetooth, but our Bluetooth is very different from their Bluetooth. Our Bluetooth is, for example, designed and not for example, but it's designed and developed to be the fastest you have on the market. So how we did that is we developed something which is based on the strength of the signal and the mobility. So if you are moving with your smartphone towards the door, then the signal gets stronger and stronger, and the reader sees that you are actually moving towards the door. So this makes us available to have a fast Bluetooth credential recognition. So once the device is connected to your mobile phone, and that happens without your input, then you can have 4 modes of interaction. The first one is the touch mode. So you touch in the middle of the reader and you activate the door. For that, you don't even need to take your smartphone out of your pocket. It can be in your bag, it can be in your pocket. You just move towards the door and touch in the middle of the reader, and it's gonna open the door, like in less than a second. The second mode is the contactless tap in app mode. So we have, for example, this application that you can see, Mobile Key. You take it out of your pocket and you will see all the readers which are in range of your smartphone. So if you have multiple doors, you will see all of them. You will see, for example, the parking entrance, you will see the main entrance, the back entrance, and you can select which one you want to open. Say you are coming with your car at the parking entrance and the reader is, I don't know, 5 meters away. You can't really touch in the middle. You can't use your RFID card or your fingerprint because it's 5 meters away. Then you just take your application out of your pocket, and from 15 meters, you can actually open the door. So that's actually a very nice feature. Motion mode is something we added during COVID time, where if you have an intercom with a camera, you can actually wave in front of the camera and it's going to open the door using your Bluetooth connection. And the last one is what we call the card mode. So card mode is basically the NFC mode. You just put your smartphone in front of the reader and it's opening the door. So all of those 4 modes can be activated, and the good stuff is that it's completely free. So the application is completely free. Whether you want the touch mode, the motion mode, it's free. And if you have one user or 10,000 users, it's still free. There is no yearly subscription. There is no renewal or whatever. It's extremely easy, to calculate the cost. The total cost of ownership is extremely low compared to other Bluetooth solutions. And if you add up to the fact that it's the fastest by less than a second, then it's an amazing solution for your customers. In the access control portfolio, we have the reader, as you saw, but we have as well our software. So the reader works standalone, like I said. So you don't actually need this software. But when you have, let's say, 200 readers and I don't know, 1,000 users, which can easily happen in a company, in an office, can easily happen. If you have to configure all of this, I would recommend using our Access Commander software, which is a software that works on a virtual machine, or we can provide you as well an Access Commander box, which is just a pre-configured computer that you install and it's plug and play. You install, you start it up, and then that's it, it's done. But we have as well a virtual machine. If you have a server, it's much actually flexible to use virtual machine. This software is basically allowing you to create access rules from one computer, but for every single device. If you have 200 devices, you're going to configure all your rules of access about who's going to be able to access to which part of the building and at what time. And then once you're done, you're going to save that, and this software is going to load every rules into every single device. So in case this software for any reason goes down, or if you want to switch it off, for example, because you don't need it, it's fine. The readers are still going to have all the brain and the intelligence, and it's still going to know who's going to have access to the readers, as long as the power comes to the device, actually. But on top of that, it's not just doing that. It's also a professional software for access control, configuration, and management. You can add time attendance, you can add anti-passback, you can add visitor management. We have as well occupancy management. For example, in COVID time, if you want to limit the access to a room for 10 people, you can actually put that in the software so that at the 11th people will not be able to access the room. It's open for integration using API or a CSV file or things like this. And it's also allowing you to monitor the device. From one quick view, you can see all the devices, see if they are online or if they are offline, or if they need to upgrade their firmware. You can have multiple site control, have several, let's say, companies. For example, you can have Ingram company, you can have Aptech company, NIT company, and 2N company. And all of those companies will have different access. I can access to 2N, but I may not be able to access to Aptech. So it still might be managed by the one interface. And you can have access log with pictures, and that's valid if you have a camera, for example, connected. You can actually have an access log with pictures. It's a really, really nice software, and the last version is, I think, 2.1, and the 2.0 implementation brought a lot of new and cool features. So I really, really recommend you to try it. We spoke about the access control, and now we have to speak about the intercom, obviously, which is really one of the flagship product in 2N is the intercom activity. An intercom is an access control device, so to speak. It's an access control device with a guest entry functionality. Because if you have a card reader, it's good, but if you have a guest, he doesn't have a card, how can he access? Then you use an intercom. This is the intercom range we have right now. We have developed a lot of intercom, and we are upgrading the intercom range currently with a new core design, which is basically the full HD design. The full HD design was introduced with the IP style. IP style is the newest product in our range. I'm going to show you a little bit more bigger picture. This is the device. It's a big 10-inch display, glass design, fully weatherproof. You can have a phone book on the device. You can call people. You can unlock the door, and you have as well card reader, Bluetooth reader, keypad access control, night vision. It's a full HD camera with WDR. So meaning that if, for example, you have like a sun in the background, we're still going to be able to see the person. There's not going to be a difference in lighting. It's really a great device. It's the top of the top you can find actually on the market, and it's a very flagship design, flagship product. I can imagine, for example, a office building. If you want to have a really fancy guest entrance device, then that's really what I would recommend. Again, it's a standalone product, so no need for any PBX or whatever behind. It's standalone. This introduced the full HD version, but right now we have still the previous version, which is IP Verso and the whole intercom that follows. IP Verso is an HD intercom, and we are now upgrading it soon to the full HD version. IP Verso is what I offer the most right now. It's the one which can do everything. And Verso takes its name from versatility. Basically, it's modular. You can see some design here. It's available with keypad, with card reader, with touch display, Bluetooth reader, fingerprint reader. You can build it the way you want. You just have a main unit, and then you put the modules that you need behind. It can do anything. If it's a villa, if it's an office, if it's a apartment building, everything it can do. So for me, it's most of the time, like 95% of the time, I offer mainly this intercom. Again, it's waterproof, it's weatherproof, so it's easy to install outdoor, indoor. We have this intercom installed in Egypt, in Dubai, in KSA, in Morocco, so it's able to withstand some of the most harsh weather. Verso is available in gray or black, and we have as well LTE Verso, which is the 4G version. In case you don't have IP cabling, then LTE Verso allows you to actually have an intercom device, but the call will be routed through the 4G network. We have as well the same, but single villa, the IP Solo. So this one, IP Solo, does not have the modularity, but it's made for single villa. So it has a call button, night vision, camera. It's very efficient device for single villa or single office. And then we've declinated this into a different kind of design. So we're, for example, declined it in IP base. It's the same core device, just in a basic form. So this one is only plastic casing, but we're talking about some kind of robust plastic, okay, not cheap plastic, really robust plastic. IP65, so fully waterproof, fully weatherproof, available with camera, 1 or 2 buttons, and a card reader. So this has been designed really to be cost effective for 1 or 2 companies when they need a card reader, or even for single villa. It's also okay for single villa. And then we've developed a tough intercom. On the base of the IP Verso, we've developed the IP Force, and which is the most robust intercom. IP Force and IP Safety, they are the most robust intercom you can find on the market. It's IP69K, IK10. So what does it mean? It means that if this intercom is installed in a factory, if you need to pressure wash it, it's gonna be okay. If you want to install it on a bank or in a truck entrance and somehow someone tries to vandalize with it, it's unbreakable. So it's really, it feels tough and it is tough. So I would recommend you considering it into specific design. It also has one of the loudest speaker. It's a 10-watt speaker. So if you have, for example, a truck entrance or, for example, highway, like for example, for this safety intercom, then this is going to be really loud and you're still going to have a crystal clear audio. Okay, so for example, this orange version is installed in Mexico or Budapest into safety pole for highways, for example. So it's really a great device that I would recommend to consider in more safety applications. Audio kit is basically the core of the intercom, but just for audio. So we use that when you want to design your own intercom. Say, for example, you have a parking entrance, you have like a parking box where you can issue some tickets. From that, you can put this audio kit inside, plug in a microphone, plug in a button, plug in a speaker, and you can build your own intercom without using our design for it. So that is all the intercom we have right now in our portfolio. It's enough to cover 100% of the project, if not 200%, really. It's just all you need for every single project. If you have any doubt about this, I will show you some tool about how to configure, but obviously me or my colleagues or the people from Ingram are here to help you design and choose the right product for your project. Something I want to mention, because 2N, some people are going to think, okay, 2N is a tough design, it's nice product, they look good, they are tough, but yeah, that's a calling device. It's not just a calling device. It's a calling device. It's an access control device. It's also a very complicated device if you want it to be. For example, we have inside the automation, which allows you to create specific scenario. This is something that you may not find everywhere, and something that we are really proud of, because it's, as you can see, it's a kind of visual programming platform where you can drag and drop events, conditions, and action, and create specific scenario. That means that you can integrate our intercom with third-party solution. So, for example, some of the scenario you can do, these are some examples only, but they are limited. Some safety scenario, visual programming platform where you can drag and drop events, conditions, and action, and create specific scenario. That means that you can integrate our intercom with third-party solution. So, for example, some of the scenario you can do, these are some examples only, but they are limited. Some safety scenario. Say someone tries to force the entry of the door. The intercom is going to detect motion and noise, and it's going to automatically call the guard to tell him that there is an issue. If an access was denied to someone on a mobile phone or an RFID card, then same again. You can automatically trigger a call to the guard just to make sure that this person is taken care of. You know, if it's a high-end, let's say high-end building, you want to make sure this person is actually going to access. You know, and if this person does have an issue, for example, then you can provide top high-end quality of service. A fire detected by a third-party system, we can receive an HTTP command or a dry contact and trigger a door to be released, and even broadcast a message on the speaker just to encourage everyone to leave the building. There's also some safety scenario, but we have some convenience scenario. For example, if a package is delivered to the owner, then we can route the call to the guard after 10 seconds, and the guard can take over and just decide to leave the package somewhere else. And the scenario which I prefer the most, it's children coming back from school. Imagine you have your child that are coming back from school using the school bus, or I don't know, some other means of transport. They swap their RFID card and they enter the building. Now you can send an email to the owner with the camera snapshot and telling him, okay, your child has accessed the building at 4 p.m. and is safely inside. That's a really cool scenario. And you can do anything. Imagine you scan your fingerprint, you enter the building, and this, or you enter your house, and this is going to send an HTTP command to the home automation, switching on the lights, opening the blinds, you know, putting on the music or whatever. It's like unlimited functions. And all of that thanks to the automation which I showed you just a little bit before. Now, we were talking about access control, we were talking about intercom, but obviously if you have an intercom, you need to be able to answer the call. And that's what we've developed over the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's a whole range of answering unit for every need. Really, every need can be covered with this. And if you're wondering, okay, but those answering units are nice, but I have an office, you know, I don't want to buy any answering unit. I want to use my phone. Then that's okay. You can use either your mobile phone or you can use an IP phone, whatever brand, Cisco, Avaya, Alcatel, Yeelink. Because we support SIP, the call can be received on any SIP devices without any exception, even a SIP phone on a computer. We even have compatibility with Microsoft Teams. So this is the range we have developed as well. We have, for example, the top high-end is the Indoor Touch 2.0. This is 7-inch display, Android. So I would really recommend it if you need Android OS, for example, for installation of third-party application. For example, home automation or small VMS, then I would recommend Indoor Touch. But in most of the cases, Indoor View is what I would really go for, because it's a 7-inch display, extremely responsive. It's using our own OS from 2N, so it's super fast. It can preview the camera, open the door. You can as well preview different camera, for example, Axis camera if you want. You can have up to 4 cameras that you can preview. So imagine you're in your flat, you want to see the main entrance, the parking entrance, you know, you can always preview those cameras, or even the corridor. And then you can as well trigger some specific what we call a home automation scenario. So when you enter your flat, you can have a button on this, which is going to make, for example, the welcome scenario. You press on it, and it's going to send a command to the home automation system, triggering, you know, the blinds, the lights, the whatever. So it's, for me, it's the best for most projects. And if your customers are a little bit budget sensitive, then we decline it in a 4-inch display version, the indoor compact, or even an audio version indoor talk. The good thing about the View, the compact, and the talk is that they share the same back box. So imagine someone is kind of a budget sensitive. You for him the indoor compacts at the beginning, and then in a few years, if they want, they can upgrade to the indoor View easily without changing anything, without changing the cable, changing the box, whatever. It takes 2 minutes top. And if you have people which are extremely budget sensitive, then we offer the IP handset. For me, IP handset is actually a good device if you have a customer that wants to provide high-end solution, high-end security to their customer, but without having the customer to pay too much for the apartment unit. You can still have the intercom with motion detection, you know, sound detection, automation scenario, but with a very cost-effective answering unit. You have a very good intercom, but a cost-effective apartment unit. So let's wrap up about the solutions, what we have, and then we'll go to talk. I will talk about the reason why you and your customer should take 2N, and then I will show you the tools that we actually have made available for you. So when you're talking about residential, I've taken an example of a residential tower. So we have a parking, we have some apartments, we have a reception here, main reception or security desk. We have a gym. We have an elevator as well. We can see here. So we've got plenty of other areas to cover. So the first thing you need to do is cover the entry of the people and the guest. So for the main entry, you're going to select an IP Verso. Definitely, it's the most classy design, very efficient, very modular. You can have display or card reader. For the parking entrance, I would recommend the IP Force. For one simple reason, it's a loudspeaker and it's tough. So in case one car come up in contact with the intercom, it's going to be robust, it's going to last. Then once you have the intercom, you need to be able to answer the call. So you can create different range of apartments from the top high-end apartment to the a little bit more entry-level or middle-end apartment with different type of answering unit, like we saw just a few minutes ago. And if you are in the reception, you can use your IP phone, leading IP phone that we can provide, or even Cisco or whatever, or anything you want in the reception is enough for receiving the intercom call. You can combine this with an access control system. Imagine you're inside the building, you want to limit access to the lift, you want to limit access to the gym, you want to limit access to the rooftop. Then you put it into access unit devices that we saw the first thing in this presentation. That's really a nice addition. And actually, we just won a project recently in Egypt called the Aeon Towers with Marrakesh in Cairo. This project was actually using an intercom system, IP Verso plus indoor compact. And we've actually combined it with an access control system. They wanted to control the access to the staircase and to the lift. So anyone who swipes his card in the lift can access only to dedicated floors. If it's the swimming pool, if it's, I don't know, the gym, if it's his floor, okay. But if it's someone else's floor, that's not okay. So we've actually combined all of this together. This gentleman here is holding his mobile key application that allows him to access with Bluetooth to the building. If you want to add some of our products, you can have, for example, the SIP speaker for paging in case there is an event, an alarm, or an emergency, and even some safety devices for the parking. You know, if it's a big parking, if it's, I don't know, a big area, you can put some more visible devices. Obviously, on top of that, you can combine our cloud services. I talked about it, but the mobile video, the remote configuration, and the site management are some of the some of the service we can actually put at your disposition. And something never to forget is the integration. All of this can actually be integrated with the home automation, the property management, facility management. So it's very interesting. For office or commercial, it's the same. It's the same. So we have intercom devices for parking entrance, for office entrance. We have answering units for meeting rooms, for office, for reception. We have specific kind of security answering unit with an IP phone or integration with VMS. For example, we have some of them here, Genetec, Milestone, Axis VMS, for example. We have access control. That's very useful in an office scenario. Standalone access control for meeting rooms, for the back door, for anything you want. Again, some safety more devices, paging speaker or safety intercom. On top of that, we have Access Commander. This is really the place where you need to use Access Commander when you have like many buildings to configure many devices, many users. And Access Commander will allow you to configure all of that and monitor all of that. And again, integration. Same for the residential, we have integration. Integration with PBX, integration with VMS, IP camera, access control, facility management. So there is very few integration which is not possible. Now, why? Why should you and why should your customer go for 2N? That's actually a pretty good question. The first thing is we are a very strong company. We are a very strong partner, I would say. I like to use this word partner because it's really what I'm trying to do, what my colleagues are trying to do is establish a partnership relationship with you, with the distributor, and with your customers, so that from us to your customers, there's a very smooth relationship. In case of project design, in case of issues, whatever, it's always here. We're always here. So we're part of Axis. Axis is extremely strong, as you know. So we have the same strength. We are the number one in IP intercom. Number one means that we have probably the best. Not probably. We have the best devices. We have the best functionalities, and so if someone is talking about who's the strongest in the intercom, you should come up with 2N straight away. We are extremely invested into the R&D. A lot of effort into the R&D. Actually, most of our people are from R&D office. That allows us to trigger to deliver 1,000 plus features every year. And why is it interesting? Well, we have a full solution of our IP. So if you have new features, how do you, let's say, spread those features if you have an analog system or a two-wire system, digital system? It's impossible. When you have an IP system, it's very easy. You just broadcast the upgrade to these devices. And that's what we do. Every 2N devices is provided with a lifetime product support. All the upgrades several times a year with new functionalities, with corrections and enhancement are free of charge. So if you buy our intercom today and in 10 years there is an upgrade, then you're going to get it for free. And that's for everything. The new Bluetooth features that we developed with the fast Bluetooth was available for all the customers. All the old customers actually got those features. So IP also means that we are using only widespread protocol, IP, SIP on VFICON. So those stuff you already know probably, and that's not going to be a stranger for you. It also means easy installation and configuration. IP is just extremely easy. If you have any kind of issue in configuration, you can remotely access the device. So it's extremely easy. We talked about the strong partner, we talked about IP, but IP comes as well with integration for 2N. Those are some of the protocol in blue that we support, but we are integrated with many solutions and we can be integrated with many more solutions. So anything comes up, it's not an issue. We can actually cover it. It's likely we can cover it. Security. Security is extremely important. You have always heard about security issues, on devices, and it's even more and more, a trend. We always hear about hacking. We can actually cover it. It's likely we can cover it. Security. Security is extremely important. You have always heard about security issues, on devices, and it's even more and more, a trend. We always hear about hacking and issues with the how to say the privacy and things like this, and how to secure the door and everything like this. This is something we take at heart into it. So we have software security with like protocols, safety protocols, and also safety scenario. For example, scrambled keypad or something like this, silent alarm, for example. But we have as well hardware protection with temper switch, audio loop testing. We are always testing. We can always test the audio of the speaker. So if you have, for example, an intercom which is installed on a highway, you can trigger audio loop, periodic audio loop, to test that the speaker and microphone is working. So it's always safety is always an important feature of our devices. Style and reliability. I mean, that's really something you have as well to know. And if you see, and if you have seen and actually worked with the devices, played with the devices, that's something you cannot tell me that it feels bad. It always feels good. You know, we are not using cheap materials. We are using only hardened materials like glass, like aluminium. Industrial grade components, electronic component. That's important because when you buy a mobile phone, a cheap mobile phone, after 1 year or 2 years, if you're lucky, it's completely unusable because the OS has evolved and the device is slow. It's not for us. You know, some device can be upgraded 10 years after the production date, and it's not gonna work. You know, and that's why because we use only industrial grade components. And we're usually so that gives you the future-proof design, you know. So those are going to last for the whole life of the system. You know, if you install this on a building, and building is going to last for 10, 20, 50 years, you have to have a device that's going to last the same. And the last reason why to choose 2N, I talked about it when I was talking about partner, but we are providing a lot of information and support to our customers. Those are some of the tools which I will show you later that we put to your disposal. It's free of charge. We have project designers, we have virtual experience. I will show you this integration hub as well. We have a wiki with like all the manual, all the FAQ inside this. So there's likely that if you ask me a question, I'm going to first look into the wiki before asking some of my colleagues, because it's likely that the answers will actually be here. We have a platforms for architects and planners. So if you are an architect or planner, or if you are working with architects and planner, give them this link, because in that platform, they can get everything, including the CAD drawings. So if they have to design a product, they can find a specification, they can find something to put into their specification, CAD drawing, you know, everything, 3D, whatever, everything that is in this. We have a cybersecurity platform as well. We explain what we do in terms of cybersecurity. In case you need to convince one of your customers, that's also a very important feature. And we have technical support. Technical support is available for you if you need. And we are, I know very well technical support and technical support manager. It's something they took at heart as well. So we really want you to enjoy your experience of the product. So now let's show you a little bit of those tools. And actually, I'm going to swap to my browser. Just going to show you something like this. Okay. So here I'm going to show you 3 tools. I'm just going to hide this. Sorry, 4 tools. The project designer is this one where you can design a project. The Academy and the Integration Hub. So first of all, I'm going to start with the Academy. 2N Academy is free of charge. You can create an account and register for free. And in this Academy, you're going to have plenty of webinars and e-training. So the difference between e-training and webinar, e-training is a recorded session. It's not really recorded. It's a recorded training. Basically, it's not a video, but it's a training where you can actually follow slides, and it's an interactive training. So this training is going to ask you to interact with it and everything. And from that e-learning, if you do all of those e-learning, you will know 95% of what you need to know to install a 2N product, to connect a 2N product, to configure it, to debug it, to create access control, you know, to do everything. If you do this e-learning, it's enough for all of this. On top of that, we also provide some webinars, and those are live webinars, mostly in English, but sometimes we do it in French as well, or in German or different language. For example, here we have a webinar for a USA, which is a technical webinar. And we have one of my colleagues doing a sales webinar on commercial solution with our solution. So this is a live webinar. So actually, just like what I'm doing right now, you can ask questions and they're going to answer your question in a webinar. So this is something really I recommend you to get. And at the end of the e-learning, you will get as well certification, diploma, that you can actually use to convince your customers that you are actually a 2N expert. So second tool I want you to show you is the Integration Hub. Integration Hub is a platform where you can check all the news we have about new integrations. For example, we are going to introduce in the next few days integration with platform called Secure. Actually, it's here. You can see it here. Secure by Johnson Control. This is the newest addition of our integration. So let's click on it and see what it means. So basically, Integration Hub allows you to check what we've done with this integration. You can check so with Secure, for example, we have managed the call management, device monitoring, and event linkage and door control. That's for our IP intercom. So you can see here key features of what we've done. You can see here what it requires, if it needs any kind of license, and the manuals. So this is brand new, so there's not too much information right now. For example, when we have time, usually we do a video. So let's check the one, for example, for Genetec. Genetec is the one we have the most developed. Genetec, Milestone, Crestron, those are very strong integration. Genetec, for example, you can see that you need 2 licenses for 2N. Enhanced video license, which will allow streaming of the video feed, and enhanced integration. And you can see as well, there is like video guide about how to configure the thing. So basically in this, you've got everything you need to know how to do integration with Genetec. Remember those licenses because now we're going to see in the project designer why it's important. So once you have checked this, you want to integrate Genetec, you have checked this, you check what you want to do, the licenses. Then you go into your project designer. And that's where you do your project. We have 3 types of project: single house, apartment building, and office commercial project. So let's jump into an apartment building, for example. Actually, no, let's do an office. Let's change it to an office. We're going to do, for example, an office with an intercom. So, okay, let's do an intercom project. It's a very fancy office. So I would recommend probably IP style. However, for demo, let's say to show you the versatility of the Verso, I would select the Verso right now. So I've got my Verso main unit. It's a big office, so I'm going to do the touch display. This one is a no-brainer. Touch display as a phone booth. I can select which office I want, dial specific persons. For me, it's a no-brainer. And because it's an office and it's a fancy office, I'm going to go for Bluetooth. Definitely, again, it's a no-brainer. Bluetooth, access control. I'm probably going to combine it with RFID card as well, just in case, some people don't forget their phone or whatever, or don't want to use Bluetooth. So Bluetooth and RFID. And okay, let's go wild and let's take actually a fingerprint as well. Let's put a fingerprint. Now we've got our 4-module IP Verso right now here. You see that it automatically designs it. If I want to change it, I can change it the way I want. It's not going to change much in terms of which part you need to buy. It's just for the design. You can select a black or a nickel version. So got all I need right now for my intercom. I'm going to automatically select that I want it to be in wall, and it's going to automatically give me the box which I need to buy. Do I need the security relay? Yes, I want to secure the entry. The security relay is important to secure the entry. So I'm going to add my security relay. Do I need any license? Well, yeah, I mean, you remember in Genetec, I need the enhanced video license. So, okay, I'm going to select enhanced video and enhanced integration for Genetec. I can check here specific functions if I'm not sure. For example, let's take, I need this protocol. If I need this protocol, I need to have enhanced security. So, okay, I'm just going to keep with the integration video. And that's going to be my main intercom. So in this building, I've got 4 entrances. So I've got the main entrance. and I've got 4, so I'm just gonna put 4 here. I'm gonna have an access control reader, and because I've got Bluetooth and RFID, I'm gonna use the same. Bluetooth and RFID, for me, really like this design, but I just need this one because it's in the office, it's really nice, it's efficient, it's actually cheaper. So I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna add this reader, and that's it. There's nothing much to add. This one, we will see it later. Continue with that relay. It's indoor, so I don't actually need the relay. That's my office access control, and I will need, I don't know, maybe like 20 readers. For the reception, I'm going to use a E-Link phone with the extension. It's enough. Answering unit, I'm going to actually put a couple of answering units inside the, the CEO office. I'm going to put the indoor view. I'm going to put it inside the wall in case. Actually, no, let's select the on stand wall. So this one on the desk. I don't need that, and that's it. That's CEO office. And so like that's it. I do all my configuration. I can add my access commander because okay, access commander. I'm going to use the pro license. In case you have any doubt about this, don't hesitate to ask me. But everything is detailed on our website. Access commander, and that's it. So I've got my projects here. It was very fast, as you can see. I'm going to save it. Save my project. And this page is very important for you. So what I would recommend is copy the project URL and paste it somewhere so you can keep track of it. Because with this URL, you can actually go back to it and change some stuff. I can edit the project. I can export it in a PDF. Let's do it. I'm just going to register my contact details, export in PDF, and export in Excel spreadsheet. So the PDF, let's look at it. That's something you can actually use when you wanna, you wanna do a project design, send it to a customer, but without, spending hours on this. Just use that. Look at the design is already done by 2N. You've got a little bit of introduction, and then you can see the device, how it's gonna look like. Every part you need to buy, with the quantities. Same for the answering need for the CO. You get everything in this file. We like a kind of a standard architecture, manuals, linked to the manuals, everything. So it's just very nice to send to customers. I use it a lot when I need to quote something for my customers. We can export it as well in Excel spreadsheet. And you can see this is really handy for you if you want to modify it or if you want to make a quote. Say, for example, I'm gonna do it like this. So I've got it kind of look like the PDF, but in this case, you just have to add your column. Let's say I'm going to add here my column with like the price. And oh, sorry, I need to modify it. Activate modification and price. And I just do X, Y, Z, whatever. And then I can just print this and send this to my customer. Very easy. So this tool is just amazing for you to design project. And if you're not sure about what to add, it's going to guide you step by step to what you need to get. So we talked about Project Designer. The last tool which I want to show you, it's more like a fancy tool, let's say. It's a virtual experience. Virtual experience is a way for you to display, showcase the product. If you want to do a meeting with your customers and you don't have the products or you're not in line or whatever, you can use this virtual experience to show that. Here you have a bunch of areas you need to cover. Let's speak about door entry solution, for example. We have, for door entry solutions, we have, for example, 2 options here. We have an IP IP safety, IP style. So I'm going to click on the IP style. And this is showing me in the 3D environment, the IP style. So I'm clicking on it. It's a little bit slow because I'm sharing my screen. But you click on it, you can actually, move around, show them how it's done behind, you want to, let's say, show the boxes. So you disassemble it. And from that, you can actually see the flush box. You can zoom in and show them behind. You have the connector, which is behind this. So actually behind this backplate, you have the connector. So it's actually a good platform, to show that. Then you've closed it, you can go directly to the main entrance. Let's go in the lift, for example. I'm gonna go into my lift. Here I've got a 2N device as well. I can control access to the lift if I want to prevent anyone to access actually the floors which are not for them. This is my device, same again, I can disassemble it. See how it's made with the frame and the back box. Can reassemble it. We can go into, this is an apartment. So let's go into the first apartment. And here I've got my answering unit, indoor view. Clicking on it, I will go in black. I actually really like the black one. You can see behind how it's mounted. I'm gonna disassemble it to show you. We've got a flash box, which is inside the wall. And we've got here all our connections of the UTP cable. You get as well a small jumper to connect the doorbell. So it's a pretty fancy platform to show to your customers the product. Really easy to use. Actually, we can show you as well here mobile video application. So receiving the call on your mobile phone. Mobile video works on Android and iPhone. And it's an application that uses our cloud, my2N, for the call are routed through the 4G. So it does not only work locally on Wi-Fi, but it works on the 4G worldwide. If you are in, I don't know, Dubai, New York, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to be able to route your call. So it's an extremely reliable application. So I believe that's it for the tools. I will go back to my presentation, and I believe for me it will be the end of this presentation. I have showed you about the product that we have, the most important product for you, solution that we can make. If you remember, the solution made of IP intercom, a solution made of IP answering unit, and IP access control for office or for residential. And as well, the reasons why to go for 2N. So if you want to recap, it's basically a very strong company, 2N, fully IP, fully integrated solution, fully PoE solution, so extremely easy to use, extremely reliable. It's future-proof by design and by the software upgrade that you will get for free every year. So it's really something that you need to look at if you want to offer quality solutions to the customers. If you want to stand out from the crowd and just not offer something cheap, you can go to 2N and we will help you, and you will clearly see that the customers are going to feel like you're offering them something quality-wise, something added with added value, something they can actually be proud of offering to their customers. So that's it for me. Now we can go to the question and answer session. I'm gonna check if there is any question in the chat now.